Life will always bring moments that test us, moments where it feels like the weight is too heavy, the mountain is too steep, and the road is too long. But I want to remind you today, you were created with a strength that doesn't come from what you see around you. It comes from what's been placed tough inside you. You have a spirit that can't be broken, a mind that can't be defeated, and a heart that can't be discouraged unless you allow it. You see, the battles you face are not there to destroy you. They're there to develop you. When pressure comes, it's not proof that you're weak. It's an opportunity to prove that you're strong. And strength is not built when everything is easy. Strength is built when you choose to stand tall in the middle of the storm. The secret to never breaking is learning to train your mind before the challenge even arrives. You have to decide in advance, and no matter what comes my way, I will not give up. I will not quit. I will not let circumstances dictate my peace or my joy. When you make that decision ahead of time, life's hits may shake you, but they won't shatter you. Every thought you think is either building you up or breaking you down. That's why you must guard your mind like a precious treasure. Replace doubt with hope. Replace fear with faith. Replace negativity with gratitude. When your mind is filled with what is true, noble, and pure, the challenges of life will lose their power over you. And remember, just because you feel pressure doesn't mean you're about to break. A diamond is only formed under extreme pressure. The greater the pressure, the greater the value that's being produced in you. Your life is in the process of becoming something stronger, something brighter, something more valuable than you ever imagined. So keep your head high, keep your thoughts lifted, keep reminding yourself, I am unshakable, I am unbreakable, I am built to last. No matter what you face, you are stronger than you think, and the best chapters of your life are still ahead. When you decide in advance to stand strong, you take away the enemy's greatest weapon, surprise. Most people wait until life hits them to decide how they will respond. They let their emotions dictate their choices. They wait until the storm comes to figure out if they'll sink or swim. But those who live with strength and resilience understand that victory starts long before the battle begins. They know that strength is a decision made in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when there's no pressure yet, when everything is calm. It's in those moments that you determine deep in your spirit that no matter what comes your way, you will not be moved. It's not arrogance. It's not pretending trouble won't come. It's confidence that you have already made up your mind to keep standing. Life will test that decision. There will be moments when you feel like the wind has been knocked out of you. You may hear a bad report, face an unexpected loss, or have a door slammed in your face. If you haven't made up your mind in advance, those moments can cause you to spiral into doubt and defeat. But when you have already determined, I will not quit, then even in the hardest seasons, your spirit will anchor you. You will still feel the pain, but you won't let it make you powerless. Making that decision in advance is like building a foundation before the storm comes. You don't build your house in the middle of a hurricane. You prepare it long before the winds ever start blowing. In the same way, you prepare your heart and mind for whatever may come by deciding ahead of time that your faith, your joy, and your peace are non-negotiable. People may misunderstand you. They may wonder why you're so steady when everything around you is shaky. That's because you've trained yourself to respond from a place of resolve, not reaction. You've told yourself, I'm not going to be tossed back and forth by every wave of disappointment. I'm going to plant my feet and stand my ground. This doesn't mean you won't have moments of doubt. It doesn't mean you won't feel fear. It means that even in those moments, you've already chosen your direction. You've chosen to get back up, no matter how many times you fall. You've chosen to speak hope when your circumstances tell you to speak defeat. You've chosen to believe that there's always a way forward, even when you can't see it yet. Deciding in advance to stand strong also means setting boundaries with your own thoughts. It means you refuse to entertain the what ifs that feed fear and weaken your resolve. Instead, you train yourself to dwell on what builds your confidence. You replay past victories. You remind yourself of the times you thought you couldn't make it, but you did. You rehearse the truth that you've overcome before and you will overcome again. The decision to stand strong is not a one-time choice. It's a daily, even hourly commitment. Every time you're tempted to give in to discouragement, you remind yourself of your decision. Every time fear knocks on your door, you remind yourself of your decision. Every time people try to convince you that it's over, you remind yourself of your decision. When you live this way, life's storms don't define you. They refine you. They bring out the strength that was already inside you. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions to feel secure because you've learned that your security doesn't come from the conditions. It comes from the decision you've already made. This is how champions are built. They don't win because they never face hard times. They win because they decide before the hard times ever come that quitting is not an option. And that same unshakable decision is available to you today. Decide now that you will stand strong no matter what. Then when the winds blow and the waves crash, you won't just survive. You'll come out stronger, steadier, and more certain of who you are than ever before. Guarding and directing your thoughts is one of the most powerful things you can ever learn to do because your mind is the control center of your life. Everything you say, every choice you make, every step you take, it all starts with a thought. If your thoughts are full of fear, worry, and doubt, those things will show up in your words, your decisions, and your actions. But if your thoughts are filled with faith, hope, and gratitude, you will walk through life with a different posture, a different attitude, and a different outcome. The truth is, you can't always control what happens around you, but you can always control what you choose to think about. Thoughts are like seeds. Whatever you plant in your mind will grow. And the more you water a thought with your attention, the more it will take root in your life. That's why it's so important to guard your mind like a treasure. You wouldn't leave the doors of your house wide open for anything or anyone to come in. So don't leave your mind wide open for every negative idea to take up space. Be intentional about what you allow yourself to dwell on. When a thought of defeat comes, you don't have to accept it. You can reject it and replace it with something better. You can say to yourself, that's not the truth about me. That's not the truth about my future. And that's not the truth about my God-given potential. Directing your thoughts means you don't just react to whatever shows up in your mind. You lead your thinking on purpose. You choose the direction you want to go, and then you feed your mind with thoughts that align with that direction. If you want to live with peace, you focus on what brings peace. If you want to be strong, you meditate on what builds strength. If you want to be joyful, you think about what makes you grateful. This doesn't happen automatically. Negative thoughts will always try to slip in, especially in moments of stress or uncertainty. That's why you must develop the habit of catching them early. The sooner you recognize a thought that's not helping you, the easier it is to replace it. If you let it sit there, it will grow stronger. And before you know it, that one thought can turn into a mindset that shapes your entire day, your week, and even your life. You have the authority to choose what stays in your mind. You can be the gatekeeper of your own thinking. Imagine if every time a thought of fear tried to get in, you replaced it with a thought of courage. Imagine if every time you felt unworthy, you reminded yourself of your value. Imagine if every time you thought, I can't, you replaced it with, I can, and I will. Over time, these new thoughts would reprogram the way you see yourself and the way you see your future. Directing your thoughts also means surrounding yourself with voices, environments, and influences that encourage the kind of thinking you want to have. You can't fill your mind with negativity all day and expect to have a positive outlook. What you watch, what you listen to, who you spend time with, all of these things feed your mind. If you want strong, faith-filled thoughts, you need to feed your mind with strong, faith-filled words. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes to think in a way that empowers you instead of weakens you. And here's the truth. The challenges in your life are not as big as they seem. It's your thoughts about them that make them feel bigger. When you guard your mind, problems lose their power. They may still be there, but they don't control your peace. They don't dictate your joy. You realize that your mind is a tool and you are the one holding it. So choose today to be deliberate about your thinking. Stop allowing fear to take up residence in your head. Stop letting worry set the agenda for your life. Start planting thoughts of hope, courage, and victory. Nurture them daily. When your mind is guarded and directed toward the right things, you will walk with a strength that surprises people. You will face storms with calmness. You will keep moving forward when others quit. And you will prove, not just to yourself, but to everyone watching, that the greatest battles are won not with sheer force, but with a disciplined, focused, and determined mind. Seeing pressure as growth changes the entire way you respond to challenges, because instead of looking at difficulties as signs that something is wrong, you begin to see them as proof that something is being made right in you. Pressure is not your enemy. It is the sculptor that shapes you into who you were always meant to be. Just like a diamond is formed under extreme heat and pressure, your greatest qualities, strength, resilience, patience, courage, are forged in the moments when life squeezes you the hardest. Without that pressure, the diamond remains hidden inside the rough stone. Without challenges, your true potential remains hidden inside of you. The process may not be comfortable, but it is purposeful. When you're under pressure, it's easy to want to escape, to wish it away, to think, why is this happening to me? But the truth is, pressure is not happening to you. It's happening for you. Every trial you endure is building something within you that nothing else could produce. It's teaching you how to stand when you feel like sitting down. It's teaching you how to speak faith when you want to speak defeat. It's teaching you how to keep moving forward when every part of you wants to turn back. The people who grow the most in life are not the ones who avoid pressure. They are the ones who embrace it, knowing it's shaping them for something greater. Think of an athlete training for a championship. They willingly put their body under stress, lifting heavier weights, running longer distances, pushing themselves past what's comfortable. They know that without that resistance, their muscles will never grow. In the same way, life's resistance is building spiritual, mental, and emotional muscle in you. The heavier the weight you lift, the stronger you become. That's why some of the most inspiring people you'll ever meet are those who have walked through the hardest seasons and came out better instead of bitter. They understood that the pressure was not meant to crush them, but to create them. You may feel like the situation you're in right now is too much, but remember, a diamond can only be formed when the pressure is high enough to transform carbon into something priceless. What you're feeling may be intense, but it's not permanent, and it's producing something in you that will last far longer than the trial itself. This is why it's so important not to run from the process. If you cut the pressure short, you cut your growth short. If you give up too soon, you'll never see the beauty that was being formed in the middle of your struggle. You have to remind yourself, I'm not just going through this, I'm growing through this. With every challenge, you're learning lessons you can't learn any other way. You're gaining strength that will prepare you for the next level of your destiny. And when you finally step into the opportunities ahead of you, you'll realize that you could only handle them because of the pressure you endured along the way. Even in nature, the most beautiful things are born from intense conditions. Pearls are formed when an irritant enters an oyster and the oyster layers it with nacre over time. Gold is refined in fire until all the impurities are burned away. Seeds have to be buried in the dark before they can break through the soil and reach the light. Your life is no different. The pressure you feel is preparing you to shine, to be stronger, to rise higher. Instead of asking for the pressure to stop, start asking for the wisdom to see what it's producing in you. Start asking for the endurance to keep going until the process is complete. When you adopt this mindset, you stop resenting hard seasons and start respecting them. You stop seeing them as roadblocks and start seeing them as training grounds. You stop feeling like a victim and start living like a victor. And when the season of pressure is over, you'll not only look back and see how far you've come, you'll carry the strength, the wisdom, and the resilience you gained into every new chapter of your life.